My name is Paige. I'm a junior, and I'm making my own engineering major.
Hi, my name is Yaquan. I'm a junior and I'm a computer science major.
I'm Benny. I'm a junior, electrical engineering major.
I'm Eric, senior, physics major.
General name for our instrument is the glide rule. And so I would describe our premise as being able to give you the expressivity of a string instrument, but also kind of having the note on and like playing experience kind of that of a piano, and does its best to kind of combine both of those qualities.
Our instrument is 4 channels. So each channel has an LED strip and a soft pot associated with it. So the LED strips translate into pitch data from 0 all the way continuous up to 15. And then that is sort of discretized into these individual notes. So we can have discrete notes, and then we can also have pitch bend. So when you originally play a note, it saves where your finger is currently, and then basically, so the first note is always discrete, and then from there on it's continuous pitch bend. There's 4 soft pots, 4 LED strips, and then they're connected via this connector to our Arduino, where we have 4 buttons, which each are 2 throw buttons. So we actually can measure velocity that way. So it's a little buggy, but it's there. And then we just have a couple of octave buttons, just like master volume, just utility knobs that you can basically assign wherever you want in the max patch. Right now we have volume, and then this is LFO rate, I think. Yeah. And then this joystick here is mapped to X and Y for the formant filter in our Thor patch.
Yeah.
So it gives kind of a cool effect, sort of a vocally effect. We also have the sustain pedal. That's the last electronics thing. So it's a sustain pedal. Oh, and
Our big problem was that the soft pots weren't linear, and not only are they not linear, all of them like behaved slightly different, so we had to get different fits for each soft pot. Basically how we did that was we took like the midpoint of each fret and put that in an Excel sheet, and then did like a cubic fit.
I think it's cubic.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be quadratic.
That's what we did. And then we also had to, because we can send like floats from Arduino to Max, we also have to do the same calculations in Max.
All the LED feedback happens in Arduino, and then all the pitch stuff happens again from the same raw data in Max.
Yeah.
To get sort of the hands-off effect of, being able to have your notes selected and play them, but not have them immediately play, you get this hands-off effect of what you're able to do with the instrument. So that's broken down into 2 components: the main body and our small console here. We're mostly working with wood, and we came across this kind of milky white acrylic in the scrap, and we really liked the effect that it had over our LEDs. I guess construction broke down into gathering of parts, cutting of parts, and then assembly, basically.
Yeah, so this pit is cut in layers. So there's 4 layers, I believe. And in the top one, there's grooves for the LEDs to sit, so that's how they're kind of set. There's a little electronics board here just to basically collect all the pins and send them down this cable.
Max remembers the last note you press. So our sustain pedal is not a sustain pedal, but rather the middle pedal of a grand piano, which is a sostenuto pedal, or how do you pronounce it?
Sostenuto.
Sostenuto pedal. I don't know. You can play notes once you press them, but then these other notes will not be. Oh wait, that's right. I'm pressing it. And this one will not be held. We also have our effects going through this patch, relatively simple. And then we have the joystick data over here. The pedals. It's essentially the four for each note in soft pot. We have 4 duplicated ones, and they would feed to different channels, as it says here: MIDI out 1, MIDI out 2, MIDI out 3.
Each soft pod is on its own channel, so it can have its own pitch bend information, which is called multi-polyphonic expression.
Yeah. And reason, we just used the initial patch because we found out that a lot of the preset patches that you have in Thor, they're not actually the correct semitone. So if you play an E2, it would play like an E flat or something.
If we had more time, I think we would have probably spent more time on the Reason patch, just to have it actually showcase what this instrument is able to do.
So explain how you read velocity out of that switch.
It's basically just a timer between when the first contact breaks and the second one makes. There's a period there where both the lights are off, and then between when the second one turns on, that's when we end the timer, and then just scale that between 0 and 127. I think the physical design is definitely, I mean, it's what I'm most proud of, I would say.
Yeah.
I just think this interface looks really nice.
It's beautiful.
And if we just had, I keep saying this, but if we had another like day or two, we could have worked out the bugs and had it working pretty seamlessly. But with the sustain on, you can kind of, oh well, we don't have the polyphony going, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But theoretically, if all the 4 channels worked, you could press the 4 notes, sustain, and then drag them around. And all the electronics are there, and even the max patch is set up for that, but for some reason the last linking stuff is not.
We didn't really know about the
when we
instrument
first
before.
designed this.
Yeah, it was
We came
actually
up with the
more.
idea.
Since that was the last presentation we saw for instruments.
Yeah, I think we were definitely like more SMOMID inspired when Gus came in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
We were
because that was the
definitely-
first presentation, right? Like, so-
Yeah, we were fascinated with the linear soft pots, and that's what like started.
Yeah.